Dennis here at Capital Training and Shoeing, here with a clear mental picture recap of the video of softening exercises for a canter departure for taking the right lead. The video was primarily about an old horse that came in that wouldn't take a right lead for the rider. And that if you think about when a baby foal is born and you watch them, they're out there, they're on the correct lead every time, right, left, switching leads, just playing and having fun. So what happens from the time they're born until, in this case, until they're 20 years old, now he won't take a right lead. Hadn't taken a right lead in 18 years. So where was the issue? Well, it was I think, a lack of understanding of the perception of the horse for one, and then this horse just simply wasn't ever broke to right. I mean, it's been ridden a lot. There's a tremendous difference in a horse that carries you around. They can be quiet, they can be gentle, they can do everything you want, carrying you around, but that's what they're doing, carrying you around. When we talk about getting a horse broke to ride, what I'm talking about is having that horse, when you offer a feel, when you offer some resistance in the mouth, when you offer some resistance on the side, that horse agrees by softly moving away from that pressure. That's all being broke is. So this video was about canter, the correct lead, so we're going to talk about that specifically. I think what keeps the horse from I got my little Remuda here, what keeps a horse from taking the correct lead is, imagine this white piece of paper here is the arena. Most people want to point their horse's nose into this sidewall, and then use this outside leg, which would be the left leg, and try to get that hip set way off to the inside. And a hip set off to the inside is a little bit, but when we have this going on, the shoulder and the rib cage on the right side becomes jammed up with the rider's left leg. You see, they're just jamming that shoulder and that rib's coming out here, and the horse is wanting to look the wrong way, and he's just trying to get away from pressure, and when he does, you know, generally the first thing they do, because they're jammed up here, they'll throw that opposite leg out there, and they'll take the incorrect lead, which in this case would be the left lead, going around the arena all the time. So to me, the fix for it is, I've got to get him first soft in the face. I've got to get him to where he'll carry that nose. I like for him to be perpendicular to the ground when I take a hold of him. That's being on the bridle. If it's out just a little bit, that's okay. It's okay. But I want the horse looking in the direction of travel, as well as I want the hip in the direction of travel. So the horse is on a little bit of an arc. This particular little dummy here is arced too much. Excuse me. So I want my horse to be straighter than this one. Not quite as straight as this one. The body alignment in this horse right at the moment, the way he's set up, would be perfect for taking a left lead. You see, he's slightly curved around here to the left a little bit, but we're talking about right lead in this video. So if I would ask for it, and that horse is in this shape, he's probably going to take the left lead going the wrong way here. But if we can get that hip over just a little bit, and the only way you can do that is spend some time before you ask for the lead to get that hip moving left and right away from your leg. And so that's real important. But we also have to have shoulder isolation. We have to have the ability to move the shoulders right and left. If that horse is not soft in the jaw, soft up here in the poll, soft in the neck, whenever you offer some resistance, it's going to produce stiffness throughout the whole body. And that stiffness will interfere with the horse from being able to take that lead. So this is my thought process when I'm asking for a canter departure, a right lead canter departure. First thing I'm going to do is set on my left seat bone. I want my seat bone, obviously on the left side of the horse's spine. I will lightly put my left leg on, not hard. I don't want to create a horse bracing against my leg. I want that horse to just be yielding lightly. And then, if this horse starts to fall in here on the right side, I will take a little bit of contact with the right bridle rein and support that horse with the right bridle rein. Then, when I ask for that canter departure, I'll ask first with a cluck or something, some kind of a sound. I've asked first with my body being up over my left seat bone. I think of it as I'm setting on the horse's left hip, because that horse needs to come from behind to take that canter. That hind end, if the hind end is pushing like a swimmer pushing off of a concrete wall in a pool, if they do that, they'll just strike right off into it. But they've got to be positioned with the hip slightly in and the shoulder slightly out, but pretty straight in their body, looking in the direction of travel. And I'll sit on that hip, I'll cluck to them, and then I will use my legs in a squeezing motion, both of them here, especially this time. As the horse advances, you won't have to go through all this, but to get a horse to understand, this is what I do. I'll squeeze with both legs, and then I'm feeling what's going on in the face. If I feel that shoulder drop down, that's when I'm going to engage that inside bridle rein more and support that horse, hold that horse up. While he's also pushing in here, I'll be using my inside leg, my right leg, right there at the cinch, just kind of in a bumping motion, and that will help pick that right front foot up and get that horse thinking about setting that thing out. And when he does, I'm keen to recognize that first stride in that canter. If it's correct, I can let him go. If it's not, sometimes I'll stop him and restart, stop and restart, stop and restart. Sometimes they'll get it that way. Sometimes, if they're having too much trouble finding that, I might stay in the wrong lead. Canter, he'd be in the left lead going around, and I'll just push him up into that counter canter around there until they decide this is too much work, and most of them will change to the correct lead, and when they do, then I'll just soften up and let them walk. Let the walk be the reward for being in the correct lead. You got to figure out some way to show this horse in his mind that being on the correct lead is the easiest thing for him to do. If we get him in the correct lead and we just wear him out loafing, thinking that's going to teach him to be in the correct lead, we've just made the right thing difficult. And then he's going to say, I don't want to do that, because last time I got in the correct lead, we just went around and around and around and around. If I get in the correct lead, I'm going to turn them loose. I don't care if they fall apart. I don't care. But they need to feel a stride or two, if you can, in complete release, so it can become the reward. Anytime we can arrange it so that whatever we ask the horse to do, that is the reward for them to do the thing that we ask them to do, both of us are winning. The horse gets what he wants, which is to be left alone. We get what we want, and both of us are happy. So that's all good horsemanship is, I believe. So anyway, I won't go on and on about that, but just think, and is what I'm doing working? If it's not, think about what can I do to be different? How can I change? Sometimes what I just described won't work. And then you've got to make adjustments to make something else work. Every horse is going to be a little different. Every horse's feelings are going to be a little different. Whatever you've got to overcome, figure out a way to make what you want that horse to do easy, and that horse will choose it after a period of time when he understands. When a horse understands what we want, they have no reason to argue with us. But usually it is the lack of understanding, the confusion that is caused by trying to force our ways onto them, that keeps our ways from coming through correctly. So anyway, watch that video. I think you'll enjoy it. You'll see a lot. You're going to see a horse that You know, it has some issues still, but you're seeing a horse starting to understand and become a willing partner. So anyway, I hope you like these videos. If you do, it really does help us if you will hit the subscribe button and share them with your friends. Thank you very much.